It's been a year since Colorado became the first state in the country to legalize marijuana. Washington and Oregon followed Colorado's lead. 60 Minutes recently aired a segment that took a look at Colorado 1 year after the law took effect. It says the state made $295 million in sales and $51 million in tax revenue in that year. State's Governor John Hickenlooper first opposed legalizing recreational marijuana. He now calls the move the most ambitious social experiment of the 21st century.
In the beginning, you didn't think it was a good idea.
No, I opposed it. And I opposed it. And I think even after the election, if I'd had a magic wand and I could wave the wand, I probably would have reversed it and had the initiative fail. But now I look at it and I'm not so sure I'd do that, even if I had such a wand. I mean, I think we've made a lot of progress and, there's still a lot of work to be done, but I think we might actually create a system that can work.
Why is he smiling? It's not the marijuana. It's the money from the marijuana, Rich.
Clever.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, do you think we're going to sit back one day and say, oh, this was like gay marriage, where everyone thought, oh my God, this will never happen. If you do it, you're going to be thrown out of office in a drumbeat. And now we just say, we didn't even report when Florida got legalized it in state after state. Now it's just accepted.
I don't think it's going to be the same way that gay marriage is. Gay marriage is sort of pervasive regionally, and it has to do, in a lot of cases, with people who know folks who are in that position. When it comes to marijuana, it's going to be regionalized. Not every state's going to adopt it, and people will remain adamantly opposed to it, even after it's more widely accepted. I do think it will continue to spread across the country. I do think it will be more widely accepted. Everybody talks about Atlantic City and the problems that Atlantic City is having. If you legalize marijuana in Atlantic City, you could reopen the Revel tomorrow. I mean, you could, and especially if you were ahead of the curve, because it would be an attractive. I mean, Colorado has tourism that's happening simply because of marijuana. So does Washington, and so will Oregon and Alaska once they roll it out coming up.
Pardon the pun. So, Dom, I remember people oppose the idea of casinos because of all the ills it'll bring. But all of a sudden, states are doing it because they want the revenue, or at least the supposed revenue that'll come attached. Is it the same kind of thing here with marijuana, where states are going to say, hey, you know what? Now that Washington and Colorado did it, we'll do it too, and we can tell everybody we'll make some money.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'll put it to you this way. Have you ever in your life met a politician that did not like money, revenue? They don't, I don't want to say they don't care, but see, I don't find this issue funny. I don't think it's a good thing for America. I see the downside to marijuana. I see marijuana as a gateway drug. I was raised on a tradition of, boys, stay away from that marijuana, because first it's marijuana, then it's cocaine, and then it's heroin. Now, that doesn't happen to everyone, but I'm just not one of those that's down with this recreational use of marijuana. I've seen it destroy too many lives. I don't think it's cute, and I think it's really not the American way.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh,
I couldn't agree with you more.
Hug it out. No.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think, and also you have government pushing gambling and pushing marijuana strictly for the tax revenue.
And they don't care.
I mean, they know a certain.
Pushing it or allowing it.
They're pushing
There is
it.
a difference.
They're
There is a
pushing
difference.
it. There's a certain percentage of people, and some people can smoke pot and be fine, but there's going to be a percentage of people that are going to become addicts.
Oh, well, casinos, you'd agree they're pushing it, right?
The casinos, it's like 45% of gamblers are addicts.
Look at the language in the ballot initiative.
I mean,
look
you
at
look
how
at
it's
like
pushed.
the lottery, or you look at the racinos, where the state actually is benefiting from it and is pushing it to a certain degree. But when it comes to the casinos that were like the one in Monticello that they're going to allow, the state just basically licensed it and is allowing a private company to do it and just taking the tax revenue. I don't think the state's in the business of advertising for the new casino.
No,
they'll certainly take the tax revenue.
That's my point.
I mean, I can buy into the libertarian thing on pot. I get the idea. I get the law enforcement, the cost of incarcerations and all the rest of it. But it sends such a bad message to kids, especially. I mean, they're becoming less afraid of drugs, and you see that in the heroin epidemic coming back.
Has 1 year of evidence? I'll be honest. A year ago, I was with you guys on this, and I don't know where I am on this, and I hate when people don't take a position on it, but I really don't know. I know Andrew supports it. I'm finding myself moving towards him because the sky didn't fall in the last year in Colorado. It's so regulated here, and it's not inexpensive. And you know what I'm saying?
Richard, Colorado, based on what we just reported, pulled in $51 million from tax revenue. How much of that money?
Well, it was more in terms of the.
No, I mean, it went to the state.
The
It went to the state.
The tax
Right.
revenue.
Yeah, sorry.
How much of that money is going to have to go to mental health services. And are those same politicians, the governor of Colorado he's a big, out of Denver, owns businesses, restaurants, and so on. Where's the money going to come for mental health services when kids blow their mind from smoking this marijuana? And it does happen.
First of
Or
all,
having lollipops.
it is
Right.
regulated. It is regulated. Okay, so they're not going to give them stuff laced with something else. I find myself defending something I'm conflicted about, but I don't know. I think a year later, and I haven't seen the polls on this, more public sentiment's leaning his way than it certainly did a year before. But tell us what you think about it. Go over to Facebook and Twitter. I combine it, Fitter, and answer our question. It's a new app. Exactly. Hey, you know what? I should have trademarked it. Question is whether you're watching this in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut. Do you want to see your state legalize pot? All right, we'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us.